Alright guys, so yeah, I went out of town for the weekend. I went pool hall hopping and definitely drank too much, and I'm suffering the consequences now. In the future, if I go out of town or something, I'll make a post and let you guys know. I kind of feel bad I left some of y'all hanging. But I did tell you guys that there was two possible, actually I gave you three scenarios. One obviously didn't play out because we broke to the upside, but I wasn't sure if we were breaking out of this pennant formation here or if we were breaking out of this falling wedge formation. If you watched my previous videos, I told you if we were in this falling wedge, we could potentially hit 12,000. And I also told you in that previous video that I thought we would go further up this ring before we broke out of it. And I told you that the max that we would go would be 11,800, and that's pretty much where we're at because we topped out at 11,862. Now keep in mind, don't misunderstand when I'm giving you these rings and these pitchfork lines. If you're already in an uptrend, these are just targets to help with swing trading. People have been saying in the comments, shouldn't we have capitulated already? No. We don't capitulate until we cross over this capitulation ring, this thick white circle right here. This is the capitulation ring. So if you are bullish, you know, a little more bullish, the highest I see us going would be this next pitchfork line. And there's a lot of confluence here at 12,200. I don't see us making it that high. It is possible we come up to this point and then we'll start moving down. The highest we can possibly go is the top of this ring. So wherever we're at, when we hit the top of this ring, this is going to act as resistance and push us down. Just like you can see, when we hit the top of this purple ring here, it pushed us down to this next pitchfork line. And you can see that we had wicks down and it found support on this yellow ring. It pushed us up to this next line of the pitchfork. I told you that this white line here would be strong resistance. You can see we couldn't make it above it. It pushed us down. We came back up, we found support on this ring, and then you can see we had this this liquidation wick that came right down to this ring, and then we shot right back up. And then we moved from line to line to line. And I told you that this blue ring right here would be strong support and resistance. You can see we got stuck on it. We moved right up to this line. That's where we're currently at. So again, we can make it up to this next pitchfork line. I think it's more likely. I want to show you on the capitulation chart. You know, we've been respecting these fib levels here. You can see this is the falling wedge formation. We broke out of it, so we could come up to the next fib level in this this fib retracement is 12,100. So on this chart, 12,100 coincidentally is right where the capitulation ring and this white ring intersect. So we could move sideways, come up a little bit, but I think this is the highest point we could possibly go, and then we'll be moving down, and then we'll find resistance on this ring pushing us down to the next line in the pitchfork. We'll go sideways, we'll hit it, it'll push us down until the point we cross over. And also, let me show you. So there's a lot of, let me go ahead and hide this so it's not so cluttered. So you can see this falling wedge here. If I measure from where we made contact at the top, you come down to the bottom, how much we broke out is pretty much on par with where we're at now. You know, this would have taken us up to 11,900, and we are currently at 11,860. So that's pretty much how far you would expect a breakout coming out of this falling wedge. And again, I told you in that video that there was going to be one last hurrah to milk retail before crossing over this point where we capitulate down. Now how far we come down, that is yet to be seen. I am expecting a major crash when we come past this ring. For you guys that have been following me and keeping up with all of my videos, I don't want to go into too much detail because if you guys that have been following me, you know what's going on. But this right here is capitulation ring that was our second leg down in 2015. So this right here compared to 2019 is where we capitulated down from. Let me zoom in a bit. this is where we capitulated down from 6,000 to 3,000. See, we bounced, we hit it again. This would be the second leg down that I'm waiting for. So in 2019, we got pushed up to this line. This was equivalent to where we're at in 2019. And, you know, the higher we go, the harder we fall. And I believe this was a suckers rally that was artificially pushed up. So I'm expecting when we cross the capitulation ring, we're coming down. This is what I'm basing this off of. So you can see, you know, we didn't capitulate down here. We were hugging the bottom of this ring. We should have capitulated here until tether and this artificial pump pushed us up. But you can see we went from line to line to line in this pitchfork. So that means that you can see this was a strong resistance and support. Strong resistance. We topped out here. So expect when we cross over this capitulation ring that we're going to come down, probably catch a bounce here, and then come down, and then your next target down is going to be 6,455. This is an angle, depends on where you hit it. The next one below that is around 5,242, and then below that is 4,271, and then if you're more bearish, you're looking at potentially 3,500. And again, the lowest I think we could possibly go in the most super bearish scenario would be around 1,800, and more realistically, the lowest I think we would go is probably 20. I had this at 24,000. I'm sorry, 2,434. I think 2,500, because usually Bitcoin goes to even numbers, so I think 2,500 is probably a good target. But again, all of these lines are mapped out on the way down, and you know that because you can see how well it held its resistance going back here. And on the more micro scale, let me get rid of this. All of these pitchfork lines are going to be potential bounces. Now we could have one massive drop, but when you drop to a certain point and stop, and it happens to stop right on a line or right on a ring, then you can expect we'll get a little bounce, and we'll come up to a certain point, you would sell, and then come back down, you get a bounce, comes up to a certain point, you would sell and come down. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, when we get to this point, we'll have a live stream. But just want to drill this into you, how these rings work. I'll be moving these lines here. But how this works, you can see this purple ring right here. We hit it, we found resistance, it pushed us down. When you hit the top of the ring, it's resistance. When you hit the bottom of a ring, this purple ring here, you see it was support, pushed us up, we crossed over and came down. And then we were moving up this this white ring here. So, you know, the scenario I gave before, I said if we come out of this falling wedge, we could go to 12,000. And the other scenario that didn't play out, so we came down, we would hit the bottom of this ring, find support, and move up it. So now that we're hitting it at the top angle from the bottom, expect when we hit this, it'll push us down. It's only after we cross over that we'll be coming down. And all of this is already mapped out. And again, I'll do a live stream when we hit this. And after we're coming down, I'll probably do a live stream so we can play these bounces on the way down. If you have access to the charts, you know, during my live stream, you can switch between the live stream and you know, look at the charts yourself so you can zoom in. These are shareable charts, so if I make an update, you see the updates. You can watch them on mobile devices or on your desktop. If you do want to have access to these charts, that information is in the description. I have a lot of emails I've got to catch up on, so if you guys sent me an email, haven't responded back yet, trust me, I will take care of that as soon as I upload this video. But yeah, we are, it looks like we're trying to move up right now, but we are, at current price, we are only, wow, we're only 1 day and 10 hours away, so that's pretty close. So just expect that it's possible we can move up to this point, which would be around 12,200, and then this line's going to be holding as resistance, going to start pushing us down. This ring is going to be very strong resistance, so it's going to push us down, move sideways, push us down. At one point we're going to cross over, and as I mentioned before, if you don't have a stop loss already set, be paying attention, because once we cross over and we start tanking, you might not be able to access your exchange because everybody's going to be you know, flocking to their exchange to sell. So you know, a stop loss is a good way to protect yourself. But yeah, I'm expecting at any point, we could hit this ring and move down, bounce back up and hit it, come up and hit it, but as soon as we cross, that's when I expect us to come down. So either we're going to capitulate and come down, or the trolls are going to have their day. But if we do capitulate and come down, I'm going to dedicate an entire video going back reading all these trolls' comments. I just think it'll be a lot of fun just showing these people how wrong they were. But yeah, again, I will do a live stream when we hit. And again, your next target up is potentially 12,200, more than likely 12,100, because that also matches up with this fib level that we're getting really close to at 12,100-ish. So yeah, when we get to this capitulation ring, that's when all the fun will begin. And again, all of this has been mapped out for you. You can see how well price has respected each one of these rings and each one of these lines in this green pitchfork. So on the way down, if we do not get one massive red candle coming down, if you see it stop at one point and it stops right on a line, that's a potential bounce point. When it comes up and stops at another line, that would be a sell target, because we're going to be in a downtrend coming down, capitulating. So every single one of these will be strong resistance. And how you can see that this gray line right here was very, very strong resistance and support. So if we come across here, you can expect a bounce at this point. We might come up to this point. If we stop there, you sell there, you would come down. You can see this green line here with strong resistance. So this could be a potential bounce point. And this blue ring right here that made up the top of this wedge and this falling wedge, ignoring this actual line that makes up the wedge, but this blue ring is going to be very strong with support. So we could hit that and get a bounce, potentially come up to one of these lines in the pitchfork. That would be a sell point. And then, again, this is just on the short term. And then, yeah, for potential drop targets, you can see that this was strong support, strong resistance. You can see that we moved right up to the next line of the pitchfork, strong resistance, strong resistance. We topped out at this line of the pitchfork. So we could come down, get a bounce on this one, then come down. This would be your next target around 6,700. The next one below that would be 5,373. Below that is 4,415. And if you're even more bearish, like I am, we could be hitting 3,600. The next below that, which is actually this ring, which is a lot of confluence, would be 2,898. Again, it depends on where you make contact. But again, the lowest I see it's going is 1,800, and 2,500 I think is a very good target if you're super bearish like I am. But we will have to see how this plays out. Again, I will do a live stream when we hit this point, and we are only 1 day and 10 hours away before making contact. So if you do not have access to these charts and you do want to have access to them, that information is in the description of this video. My email is there as well. If you want to, if you have any questions you want to ask me, feel free to shoot me an email. I answer them all. I do have a lot of emails I have to respond to. Again, I will take care of that as soon as I finish with this video. But yeah, we're getting close, and I told you this was the last hurrah. This was to milk retail as much as they could before crossing over. So be ready, be prepared, have a strategy, and if you want to have access to these charts to play it on the way down, everything is mapped out, and you can use previous price action. I mean, look how much resistance, how much support we had on this yellow line right here is basically this line right here. Look how much support we had on that. So if we drop down, expect a bounce right here. We could come up to this yellow ring. This would be a sell point, and then it would come down further, potentially find support on this ring. You get a bounce up here. This would be a sell point. So it's going to be a lot of fun playing this on the way down. There's a lot of money to be made on the way down with this. So yeah, either we cross this ring and capitulate, or the trolls have their day. We'll see what happens. But just be prepared and know that I will make sure I do a live stream. We make contact with it. And again, if something happens, I'm not going to be around. I'll give you guys a heads up because I kind of feel bad about that. But yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. And again, if you want to have access to the charts, that information is in the description. And yeah, I'm getting excited because we're getting right to that point. I'll put this back. Actually, we don't even need that anymore because we were in a falling wedge. And again, sorry guys, I'm still a little hungover. This probably isn't the most not the most unplanned out video I've done so far. But yeah, it does seem we're moving up, so it is possible we'll move up to this line at 12,200, but don't expect to go higher than that because we're getting close to this ring, and this is going to be a lot of resistance, especially this ring here. But again, it's when we cross this ring we capitulate. At the point we hit this ring, it's just going to hold resistance and push us down, push us down. At one point we cross over, then we come down. But that's it for today, guys. Again, if you have any questions, just feel free to shoot me an email that is in the description. Until the next video, which should be tomorrow morning, I will see you then.